Hello, this is Zoe from No Safer Place, and if you followed me on my channel, you know that my main focus is to promote and review books that I absolutely adore. Now, today I thought I would do something the complete opposite. I want to share with you books that I just couldn't finish. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get my teeth into any of these books. Now, the first one I think you will all be really surprised about. I know so many of you absolutely adore this series, and the first few books I did, but this one I just couldn't get into it, and it is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I know this is such an unpopular opinion because the Assassin's Blade books are just fabulous, and the first few were, but I think I read about 300 pages of this and I just couldn't. I tried and I tried because I wanted to love this book as much as I did the others, but it was just so difficult. I don't know if it's because the writing's small, because I do struggle with my eyes, but I couldn't get into the story. I felt like too much had happened and I couldn't keep up with it. So the first book that I couldn't finish is The Throne of Glass, Empire of Storms. The second one, now I wanted to love this book. I watched the film before I read the book. I know that is a sin, but I didn't know it was a book. I watched the film because Matthew Daddario was in it, and I thought, oh, I loved the film. I'm sure I'll love the book. And the book was written by Rachel Cohn and David Levithan, and I've read a few of their books, so I felt like I would really enjoy it. But Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List, this book is so difficult to read. I mean, I've watched the film so many times, so I know the storyline back to front. But I think I got about halfway through, and I couldn't enjoy it. It's just I don't know how to explain it because it's not as if it's a difficult read. Like the chapters are short, which I love, the writing's big, which I love, but there was just something about this book that was just so difficult. And it's such a shame because I was so excited for it. I think that's one of the things when you're really excited for a book, you expect so much, and sometimes the book just doesn't deliver. And this was one of those books for me. The third one is Once Upon a Dream by Liz Braswell. Now, I read The A Whole New World, which is the first one in this series. It's kind of a Disney Twisted Tales series, so it's focused on Disney films and Disney stories, and they're made a lot darker and take different routes. So I read the Aladdin one, which was A Whole New World, and I finished it in a day. It was absolutely fantastic. So when this one came out, Once Upon a Dream, which is obviously based on Sleeping Beauty, I was so excited to read it. But I couldn't get into it. I think I read about half of this book, and it was just I really didn't enjoy it, to be honest. I think maybe because Sleeping Beauty is one of my favourite Disney stories, and I loved it so much the way it was. I just didn't like the changes in it. It was just too different, if that makes sense. Like it didn't really follow any of the original storylines, and I just found it really difficult. So I didn't finish that one. The next one. Now, I think I'm going to give this one another go because I read This Savage Song by V. Schwab first, and then I found out that she had this Darker Shade of Magic series, and I wanted to give it a go. So my husband bought me them, I started to read them, and I just couldn't get into them. I think with this one, I was in quite a sad place when I started this book. I wasn't motivated, I wasn't really enjoying reading. So as you can see, I've left the bookmark in this because I feel like I will try again with this one because I did enjoy what I read, I just didn't have the motivation to keep reading. So that's a possible might read for the future. The next one is Dearly Devoted Dexter by Jeff Lindsay. Now, I absolutely adored the Dexter series. I have seen it all, I absolutely love it, and I love the storylines. So when I knew that it was a series, I had to read it. And I read the first one. It was tricky. I struggled to finish it, but I powered through and thought, there's a lot of these books, they probably do get better. So I tried the second one, which is Dearly Devoted Dexter, and I think I lasted about 2 chapters. It is just so different from the TV series. Now, I wasn't expecting them to be the exact same because obviously the series is based on the TV series. Yeah, based on the book. But I just found it so difficult to read. Again, the font is small, and in the first book they killed off one of the main characters that had survived a long time in the TV series, so I just found it really hard. Again, I think if I'd read this before I'd watched the TV series, I probably would have enjoyed it more, but I just couldn't get into it. The next one is 4 by Veronica Roth. Now, I read all of the Divergent series. I absolutely adored them. Not so much the ending of the last one, but most of them I just adored. So when this came out, I was really excited to read it. I think I read, how many stories are there? It's a few short stories, isn't it? But I know I didn't make it more than a third of the way through. I just didn't like the style of writing. And I loved 4. He was one of my favourite characters in the series, but I just couldn't get into it. So that was that one. And then the last one, again, this is Grey by E.L. James. Now again, it's written from someone else's point of view, like 4 was, which I find really hard. If you've enjoyed a story from someone else's point of view and then you have to read it from someone else's, I think it's really difficult to feel the same emotion as you did when you read it previously. So I just couldn't get into this. I think I read a few chapters of it, but I just didn't enjoy it at all. But I am really excited for the film next month. So if you've read any of those books and think that I should give them another try, please let me know, because I will definitely do so if you think they're worth it. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment of what you would like to see more of on my channel, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you, bye!